Today we are going to talk about classification of chordate. We already have done various important characteristics of chordates. Now we are continuing with the classification. So chordata is classified into four different subphyla: cephalochordata, hemichordata, urochordata, and vertebrata. We mostly know vertebrates, but there are more to the chordata than to the than only vertebrates. So let's talk about these one by one. First of all, we talk about subphylum Cephalochordata. These are also called sometimes lanceolets. Members of Cephalochordata, they possess a notochord, uh, a dorsal hollow nerve cord, pharyngeal slits, and a post-anal tail in adult stage. These are the organisms which have all the, you have seen this, that these are all four characteristics, which are main characteristics of phylum Chordata. So they do have all these. Here we can see one example, Amphioxus. This is an anatomy. You can see there is a mouth, there are gill slits. Then on the top of it, this thing which is running up is dorsal hollow nerve cord. Then this second rod-like structure is the spinal cord, the notochord, and then there are more features. So they have all these things. They do not have a true brain, but the notochord extends into the head, which give them the name cephalochordata. So what happened that their notochord is extending into the head as well. That's why we call them cephalochordata. That is, cord is there in the head. So these are the organisms which are living in the water. Mostly they are burrowing in the soil on the bottom. So these are the organisms. One example is Amphioxus. Next is subphylum Urochordata. These are also called tunicata. These are given this name tunicata because they have, here you can see in the diagram, they do have a cover, or we can say covering of the body, which is which consists of cellulose like carbohydrate material, and that is called tunic. That's why sometimes they are called tunicata. Member of Urochordata are also known, that's why they are also known as tunicates. So what happened that tunicates, they are also marine organisms mainly living in the seawater. Here you can see that they have a mouth, then they also have pharyngeal slits, then there's some digestive system as well, stomach like material, the gonad, and also a heart, and all these body parts are covered by a tunic or a covering. Then so these are called tunicates. This is second phylum. Now Urochordata, why we have given these name, this name. Euros mean basically tail. Their notochord extends also into the tail, so that's why they are also given the name Urochordata. Urochordata means that their cord extends into the tail region as well. Next group is called Hemichordata. Hemi means half. What happened that their notochord runs into first half of their body. So cord in the head, sorry, cord in half part of the body. So they do have notochord which is running in half part of their body. That's why they are called hemichordate. They're solitary and colonial. Sometimes they live solitary, means that sometimes they live individually. One organism live at a place, and sometimes they are also colonial. They are sometimes living together as well as a group. These are exclusively marine. These are living only in marine environment. Their body is soft. They're soft bodied, fragile. They're soft and we can say quite a vermiform, worm like, and their body is divided into three regions. First region here you can see is proboscis, the head like or posterior region, sorry, anterior region, which is called proboscis. Second, a small neck like region which is called collar, and then a worm like trunk, that is called trunk, a worm like body part. So body is divided into three regions: proboscis, collar, and trunk. Example is Belanoglossus, which is a hemichordate. Then comes some subphylum vertebrata. So vertebrates are the organisms which are mostly known organisms. Like we see these, most of our pets are vertebrates, birds that we normally see, mammals that we normally see, frogs, toads, lizards, fishes, etc. are vertebrates. So these are comparatively larger organisms. What's their main feature? That they do have a vertebral column. They do have notochord in the embryonic stages, but later on that is slowly replaced by the vertebral column. Vertebral column give them more flexibility in comparison to the notochord, and this gives them some additional capabilities to perform different functions. Now, subphylum Vertebrata is divided into 5 main classes: Pisces, the fishes; Amphibia, the frogs, toads, etc.; Reptilia, the lizard group, lizards, crocodiles, etc.; Aves, the birds; Mammalia, the mammals. Let's talk about them one by one briefly. So, class Pisces, the fishes. Fishes are ectothermic organism and aquatic. Fishes are ectothermic and aquatic. It means that they do not produce endogenous heat, that is heat from inside of the body, but they have to warm up, or maybe if they want to reduce their heat, they have to do it by environmental factors. The skin is generally covered by scales, and mucus is present under these scales on the slimy skin. Now there is something important, some important function of this mucus basically, because that mucus is known to have fish antibiotics. They do have certain chemical compounds which act as antibiotics and kill the bacterial, fungal, and other kinds of infections on their body. Now these are characterized and these are used as antibiotic which are fish specific, and these are used to treat fish diseases in the fish farms. So this mucus is basically help this is one thing that this is covering the body, and basically helping in dealing with the desiccation or so, and also it has fish antibiotics. Limbs are modified into fins for swimming. There are different types of fins like pectoral fin, which are around shoulder; pelvic fin, which is near the pelvis; dorsal fin; caudal fin, and there may be more. Then they do have gills for breathing. As they are living in water all the time, they need water specific feature, that is gills. So they do have gills for breathing. They lay eggs that must be in water. So when they lay eggs, these are in large numbers, very large numbers, and these have to be in water. If they are not in water, they'll be uh, destroyed. Their body is streamlined, which help them in swimming. The streamlined body actually help them, just like flying aeroplane in the air and cutting the air, just like their streamlined body cut the water. They do have one-way heart or one-way circulation. One-way circulation means that uh, blood passes from the heart to the body, from back it comes back from the body to the gills and then to the heart. So let's have a look on this system. Is a fish. This fish look like a glass. It's transparent. It has transparent body at some stage of life there. So this is called chanda. Then here you can see that one-way circulation, that this is the heart that consists of two main chambers, a ventricle and atrium. The ventricle pushes blood towards the gill capillaries. Here in gill capillaries, water is oxygenated. From that it goes to the body directly. Then in systemic circulation, they divide into capillaries, distribute oxygen to the body, and takes the carbon dioxide inside them, and then make a vein and enter inside the heart. So this is called a one-way circle. This is called one-way circulation. This is specific to fishes. No other vertebrate group do have this. Next class, amphibia. Amphibians are ectothermic vertebrates. It means that they also cannot produce endogenous heat, and they are dependent upon heat from external sources. Their skin lacks scales, hairs, and feathers. Their skin is either smooth like a frog sometimes, or maybe rough like in a toad. Mostly those which are living more time in water have a more smooth skin. The skin must remain moist to aid breathing, because what happens that when they are particularly in water, they are doing cutaneous respiration, that is they are respiring through their skin, which is highly vascularized. It means it has lots of blood vessels inside it, and that's why they have that that moist skin all the time. They lay eggs in the water, which hatch into intermediate larvae, which are called tadpoles. That now these tadpoles, they have to breathe with gills. These organisms do have a three-chambered hearts. So heart is advanced in comparison to the fishes, and that is three-chambered. Their examples include frogs, toads, etc. Now, class Reptilia. Reptilian are ectothermic organisms. They are also ectothermic. Their skin has scales but has no hairs or feathers. They have three-chambered heart, except for alligators and crocodiles, which have four-chambered heart. Three-chambered mean that there are two atria and one ventricle. Ventricle is not properly divided, though. Sometimes they are said to have four-chambered heart with one slit remaining. What happened that their heart is basically divided into two atria, and ventricle is not completely divided. So what happened that the ventricle is basically having a slit in between the two chambers. That's why we say that they have three-chambered heart. It's not complete four chambers. They have claws on their toes, which help them in movement and other things, other functions. They lay egg on the land. The feet has pads that can produce a vacuum. Hence, they are able to climb on surfaces like trees and walls. So when you have seen lizard moving on walls very easily. What happened that they, and also different other organisms do the same. They basically has pads under their feet, and when they attach to a surface, they produce kind of a vacuum. Hence, they are able to climb the surfaces very easily. So lizards, crocodiles, alligators, snakes, they are included in this category. Next is the class aves, the birds. Birds are endothermic vertebrates. Endothermic means that their body produce endogenous heat from the sources inside the body. Their skin is covered with feathers. They have four-chambered hearts. What happened that because they're flying organisms, they need more powerful heart. So if we look at their heart, that is four-chambered, completely divided into two regions, so that there is no mixing of blood that takes place. That's why they have this immense capability of flight. Their bones are lightweight. This is also another adaptation to flight, and are hollow inside. So they have more very light bones, which actually reduce their overall body weight. Their forelimbs are modified into wings again for flight. They have another adaptation that their forelimbs are modified into wings, which are having feathers, which are long feathers, specific feathers for flight. So they can fly. They lay eggs. We all know normally that birds, they lay eggs. Some of them may make nest, and some of them even do not make nest but lay their eggs on other places. Their examples include parrot, manas, doves, kites. There are so many that we normally know about these organisms. So these are the birds. Now the last class, the mammals. Mammals are also endothermic vertebrates. They have hairs. This gives them specific. This is a specific feature that they have hairs, which varies greatly among the species. Their color gives them camouflage. Also, these are used in thermoregulation and various other things. They have mammary gland, the milk secreting glands. They feed their babies with milk. Their little ones, the babies, young ones. They have heterodont dentition. It means that they have different types of teeth. The four types of teeth are there. Mostly they have four of them. They have four-chambered heart with complete divisions because they need more energy for their different working. They have two-way circulation or double circuit circulation. That is, blood circulates from the heart to the lungs and back, and to the body and to the heart and back. So this helps them in more good circulation. They have a thick and highly modified skin, which is loaded with sensory receptors. So they have a lot of sensory receptors in their skin. So this was about vertebrates and classification of chordates. Now, thank you for watching this, and if you have questions, you can always talk to me like that.